like you start with someone in a very high note, they're excited, they want to be content creators, they want to be an influencer, but along the way they just give up. Okay, along the way they just say, like, I just don't feel like doing it anymore. And then when you follow through what happened, they can't literally tell you exactly what happened. And so many people have struggled in terms of social media because in a world that is moving very fast and everyone wants to be this, everything. We want to become something. And this is not exclusive of companies and brands and all that. So what do? You want to be a content creator and you don't know where to start. You want to be an influencer. You don't know where to start. So I think the first thing you should do is identify what works for you. First of all, as an individual, what works for you? Yes, maybe on your alone time, you love cooking, or maybe you love playing football, or maybe you just find yourself singing, even if you sing in a very croaky voice. Or maybe you just love it when you have friends around, or maybe books. So that could be a starting point, okay? You need to find out something that you do without struggling or without straining or without so much energy. Something that comes from within so easily and so swiftly without you having to consult a lot, to research a lot, to like put a lot of effort in it. Yes, there is a part of effort later, we'll reach there, but you need to do that. You need to identify that. Secondly, before you even start up a brand, you need a name. Of course, you need a name. So for you to have a name, you have to go on Google or on Chrome or whatever software you use or whatever app you use to do your research on. You go there and then you search those names. Okay, you search if someone already has it, because I've also had situations where someone comes to me, they want to start up a brand, they have already named it, they already have a logo, but when we search it, when we Google search it, we find out that 30 other people has that name, or 30 other people have that name, and then it becomes a conflict of interest, because you need just to have one conflict, which is your content. Maybe your content sometimes might appear like someone else's, but let it not start with the name, because the moment you start with the conflict of the name, then that's where you go wrong. Okay, another thing that you need to do, you are a first time content creator and you really want to get into this content creation. Yes, Rainbow, hi, how are you? Yes, so you want to start with the content creation. I just decided to mask my face. I'm a bit shy on camera, so I'm doing this for confidence purposes. But I promise you, for the next of my live videos, you will be seeing my face. This is just my first one, and I have a phobia for cameras, kinda. So yeah, no, I'm not a Muslim. Yes, so for content creation, it's easy, but you need to identify what works for you. Okay, you need to identify what works for you in terms of what do you do without struggling. Secondly, you need to identify things like what do you find yourself doing, or what are your friends telling you about. So many times you find there are situations where okay, John Rich, okay, I will remove this mask, but later. Okay, later. Let me just finish this part and then we will do that. The second thing that you need to do is ensure that you are consistent in terms of your research, in terms of what you like to do, what you don't like to do, and then in terms of also what are you interested in. Anytime you open your phone, and then what is the first thing that you're likely to search? Is it a recent activity? Is it a word that you heard? Is it a book that you heard people talking about? Is it a movie? Then that could be your area of interest. And the most lucky people are the talented ones, because for talent, you don't struggle much in terms of content creation, because for talent comes out so naturally, and like a skill. For skill, you have to work for it, you work on it and all that. But for talent, it just comes out naturally. So what do I mean? Maybe you are a singer, you are a renowned singer in your village or in your area or whatever thing you do, okay? So what you do, you start there. You start by recording, you start by creating, you start by thinking of the content before you even record. Actually, you start by thinking of the content, you come up with a content calendar. But all this you will do, but you cannot even do them if you don't have a brand name. You need a brand name. You can use your name as a brand name. You can use your nickname as a brand name. You can use your childhood pet name as a brand name. You can use something unique that is not common. Yes, especially when you want to venture into content such like motivational speaking and all that. Yeah, you need to use very unique names and very names that are easily searchable on Google. Like, for example, you cannot have a name that has 12 or more words. That is a very difficult name, not unless the name has been broken down into two. Like, for example, my brand name is Walking Shadow Poetry. So maybe yours is John Lee or John Rich Poetry, you get. So you need to identify a name that is not longer than 12 words, and that name needs to be memorable. You also need to find out your slogan. What slogan works for you? Because so many people have failed or have been constant or have stagnated in content creation simply because they didn't have a slogan for their particular brand. Okay, they never ever worked on a slogan. So you just wake up, you feel like you love cars, you feel like you love shoes, and then you just start up something like that. Yet there is no slogan, because the slogan now guides you on the why. Okay, the slogan tells you now why should you do that, why should you proceed with that. Without the slogan, you cannot do it. Yes, you can, yes, but the slogan kind of guides you on what else to do. Like, it guides your content. Another thing that you need is a tagline. Okay, so before you even sit down and record or shoot that thing that you want to shoot, maybe it's a movie, a short film, or an episode, or a song, or whatever you want to do, make sure you have a tagline. It's a company, it's a brand, it's an organization. You need to have a tagline, because you will have to work with other people, and without a tagline, these people will come into your brand and do their own different things, and it won't go so well on your brand. So you need to have a tagline that rhymes with your brand, okay? Or that rhymes with whatever thing that you are doing. Maybe you are doing poetry, but which kinds of poetry? Maybe you are doing songs, but which kinds of songs? Maybe you are doing, you are a dancer, but which genre of dance are you into? Are you into contemporary dance? Are you into storyline dances? Are you into mime dance? Are you into just dancing? So you need to define your brand clearly, and you write them down, because it's one thing to define them in your head, it's another thing to write them down and actually notice, this is my brand name, this is my slogan, this is my tagline, this is my colors, because you also need colors for your brand, so that to avoid confusion. There's a way when you just see red and black in any bottle, it just clicks Coca-Cola. There's a way when you see yellow in any paper, it just clicks somehow Indomie. So you need to have colors that resonate with the brand, that makes you identifiable, that makes your brand known. Like, someone can see the black and red, then they'll notice this is their brand. Someone can see pink and yellow, and then they'll notice this is their brand. Yes, so you need to also identify colors. These colors need to rhyme with your theme, because there's no way you might be having maybe a brand that deals with mental health issues and people who are struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and anything to do with mental health issues, but your colors are so bright, your colors are popping. No, you can't use pop colors. You need to use dull colors because of that moment. You can use 1 or 2 pop colors, but not every color. Every popping color can work for your brand. Or maybe you want to start a very vibrant brand. Maybe it's a ladies wear or a gents wear, or like a very vibrant brand, or a kids thing. So what you do, you make sure you identify colors that will rhyme with kids, colors that will not scare kids, colors that will not scare women to not buy your product, colors that will make men to love your product. Because for brands that deal with men, you find they prefer colors that are not dull, but not shouting colors, not poppy colors. They love the gray, the black, a bit of white. Yes, so colors that jungle green, you get. So you identify your brand for the slogan and the tagline, for you now to identify the colors, so that you don't mess up the whole brand just because of the colors. Because one time you won't be the founder of your brand, one time you will allocate people to do that for you. So if you are not careful, you will find yourself confused. Like the people who are working for you, they will be like, what do you stand for? Why do you do what you do? If you're a photographer, if you're a videographer, then why do you do what you do? Then identify the colors, identify the slogan. Yes, and last but not least, before I proceed, we will be doing these classes. I will try. I don't want to promise, but I will try. It's something I've been postponing for the longest, but I will try to be very consistent with these particular classes, because I've noticed there is a very huge gap in terms of content creation and social media management, and people who actually are aware what they are doing online. Most people are doing things because other people are doing it, so we are all copying. It's a trend. It goes on. Everyone does it, but why do you do it? So the last thing, before you even decide on which content you will do, in which brand name you will choose, please identify why do you want to do that, because the why will determine everything. Why is the determining factor. In case you don't get the followers, the why will make you stick there. In case you get too many followers that you can't even maybe respond to all of them, the why will guide you. In case you are at your lowest point and then you feel like, what if people are not even watching me? What if people are not even listening to me? What if people are not following up this content? Then the why will keep you there. And then in case you get to a point where you feel like, I'm just tired with this content creation thing. I just want to try something new. I just want to try something else. Then the why will keep you there. So that has been my time. I have been working shadow poetry, and I will be doing this live more often. Keep on watching for more videos, and I hope we will learn a lot, and I hope by the end of a month you would have been able to actually seriously, intentionally started your brand. Till next time, bye.